everybody, it's me, Miss Liz, and today we're talking about a super duper special story. This is a story that's been around for a long, long time and has been retold and rewritten tons and tons of times. It's The Three Little Pigs! I love The Three Little Pigs. It's one of my favorite stories. This story is retold by award-winning author Patricia Seibert. Awesome. So friends, the title of the story is The Three Little Pigs, and the author of this story is Patricia Seibert. Awesome. All right. So friends, we read this in class a little bit earlier, so you should be a little bit familiar with our story. And I wanted to talk to you today about story elements. And story elements are the different parts of the story that give it life, that make the story make sense. And the story elements that we're talking about today are setting and characters. The setting is where the story takes place. Where does all of the action in the story happens? And that's going to be our setting. And the second thing we're going to talk about today for our story elements is characters. The main characters in the story, the characters that the most happens to, the most we learn about them the most in the story, okay? So let's work on setting first. Okay, so setting is where the story takes place, where the action of the story takes place. So we see on this first page, let's talk about this for a minute, friends. I'm going to make it big for us. We see on this first page that this is where the little pigs, it looks like this is where they live, where they grew up. Here we are. And there's the mom and the dad, and they're all sad that the pigs are leaving. Do you think that this is part of the setting? Do you think this is where the main action of the story takes place? Not really. Because, friends, it literally says in the text, they were curious little pigs and eager to learn more about the big wide world. One bright summer morning, they packed their bags and set off together. So that means that they actually left this spot. So is this the setting? No way. I'm going to move this away. I'm going to make it small and move it away. Bye-bye, Mama Pig. Bye-bye, Papa Pig. You're wonderful, and we're so glad that that's where our piggies came from. But that's not where our story takes place, so get out of here, Mom and Pops. Here's another picture I'm going to show you. This is a picture of the place where the pigs moved. It's a beautiful new little village that they moved to. Do you think that this is where the setting is, where all the action takes place? You betcha. You betcha. This is where the meat of our story happens, friends, right here in this little village that they moved to. So I'm going to keep it with us. I'm going to keep it right here and put it under setting, okay? Here I go. I'm going to put it right there. And I've got two more pictures here, and you can tell me what you think. I thought that this one was kind of important because it showed the weather changing, right? Let's see. It showed our weather changing and it was getting colder. And I kind of thought this was important to our story because it said, the long summer days grew shorter. Many of the pigs' friends started to prepare for the colder days ahead. The little pigs realized they needed a house that would be warm and safe, just like the one they had left. So they came from a nice warm home from their parents, and now it's time for them to build their own homes. And it's getting cold outside. Do you see all the leaves falling? And everybody's wearing hats and scarves and things like that. So it's kind of important to our story, for the action of our story, that they live in a village, and the village is starting to get cold. So this is all part of our setting. Our village, the weather has a lot to do with the setting too. And then this is just the third picture I thought was important. This is where they decided to build their homes. So right out in the field in their village, there's the brick house, the straw house, and the wood house, the house made out of wood. Great. That is our setting. That is where our story takes place. In the village, it's starting to get a little bit cold, and so they build their houses in the field in the village. Beautiful job. Now, this is a fun part. We're going to talk about the characters in the story. And not just the characters, but the main characters. Miss Liz is going to try and trick you a little bit. Let's see how well you were paying attention. Let's see. These are the main characters. These are the characters that we see the most in the story, the characters that we learn about the most. And so I want to put this picture out. And you tell me, do you think that Mama Pig and Daddy Pig are the main characters in this story? Do we hear a lot about them? Actually, I'm not even sure if we even mentioned their names. One bright summer, they packed their bags, set off together. Just like the one they had left? No way, we don't even see their names. So you know what? Once again, Mama Pig and Daddy Pig, we love you. We're grateful for you, but you gotta get out of here, okay? You're not a main character. You're important to the pigs' lives, but you're not a main character. You're not important to the story. Not quite. Sorry, Mama Pig and Daddy Pig. Here's a pig. What do you think about this pig? Is he a character? Is he a main character? Does a lot of the action happen with this pig? This little lazy pig? It sure does, friends. I'm going to leave him right up here. That's the first little brother. That's the lazy piggy. He just picked up the first thing he saw and said, I'll build a house out of this. It'll take me 10 minutes. How could a wolf possibly blow it down? No way, Jose. Was he wrong or what, friends? Okay, here's a friend. What's this? Oh, you know what? I like this pig. He didn't work very hard physically. He didn't do a lot of physical labor like the Brick Brother, but he did think a lot about it, and he made his structure, and he did really think about it, but he didn't put in all of the hard work. So he's like on the lazy scale, he's like in the middle. He's not really lazy. He's just a little bit thoughtful, kind of just wants to build his house and get it over with. So that's pig number 2. He is definitely a main character. And how about this guy? Is he a character? Oh, he sure is. He's the big brother. He's the one who's got it all figured out. He did all the hard work. He laid the foundation. He did a great job. That's pig number 3, Big Brother Pig. He did a great job. He's a main character. Oh my gosh! Who's this? Who is this guy? Right here. He's the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? No, not me, not I. This is the big bad wolf. He is very important. He's a main character, and he's not only a main character, he's the villain in the story. That means he's the bad guy. Yep, that's right. All right, friends, so we talked about some story elements today. The first story element that we talked about was, say it if you know it, setting. And setting is where the story takes place. Then, the second story element we talked about was characters, our main characters. Those are the important players in our story, and that's where all the action happens. It happens to these characters. Those are the main characters. So there you have it. That's a little breakdown of the 3 little pigs. We talked about 2 story elements, and guess what? We're going to talk about even more as we go along. Thank you so much, readers and writers. You are just awesome, and you're all doing so great. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.